Now I've taken out the old spark plug, and a year ago I bought this customer a new spark plug, brought it down to his work, because generally you want to do a tune-up, you want to put a new plug in there, and I didn't have one at the time. Well, the customer informed me that he did not put in the plug that I gave him. It's in the bike. So what I'm thinking is, this bike has 25,000 miles on it. And what I believe I'm looking at right here is the original spark plug, which is right here, which is CR8HS. So I'm looking at this plug compared to the new one, and I'm saying to myself, all right, what's the plug telling me? Well, the plug is actually, let's see if we can, see if I can get my, I got this really neat, cool light, isn't that cool? Push a button here, and the light goes on. Great. Now, I don't know if you see a problem, or what. This is the new plug on the right, and this is the old plug. Now, what does that gap tell you on the old plug? The electrode, and like I said, electrics are not my strong suit, but the electrode right here on the new plug is very close to the, you can see the gap. Look at how much the gap is, okay? That is a lot of gap right there. It means you have to have a lot of horsepower in your battery and coil in order to bridge the gap every time it fires. Now look at this one. I've never seen a plug like this before in my life. The gap on that is about a mile across. I mean, these plugs gaps are measured in thousands. That is probably the original spark plug, and I know that the engine is firing correctly, except that the spark plug is probably should have been replaced 15, 17, 18,000 miles ago. I think, let's see if you can see this, the gap here between the electrode right here on the new one and the electrode on the old one. You can see it's just a huge gap. So I know that spark plug is a problem. Now I don't know how that's going to affect the overall scheme of the charging, but we need to take a look at everything. Another thing that I noticed, and this is for the customer too also, is that the charging system, everything has to be in good, clean contact position. Now when replacing the battery, everything looks fine right here. So you have your negative right here, and if we turn it upside down, you can see where the chromed end right here looks okay. All right. Well, you take this off and you put your new battery on and you screw it in, no problem. But what you need to do is take this and turn it upside down and look at it real carefully. And what I see is your standard, this is battery acid corrosion, which is electrostatic. It happens, but what this can do is cause a boundary or barrier between the electrical current either getting in or going out. That can happen. Now I'm going to clean this up and clean this other end up here and put on the new spark plug. After I gap it correctly, you can go on with the internet, you can go anywhere and find which gap is correct. They're mainly set pretty much where they should be, but if you need to gap them, the best way to gap these things is you come outside with a rock, you find a rock, or you can use the concrete on the floor right there. And what you do, if the gap is too wide, you take the spark plug and tap it. A little harder, of course. What that will do is bend the electrode part, or that round part, towards the other electrode. And I know I don't have the names right. And then you can gap it with gap gauge. And now we'll go. We have the battery, we put it on here. What I'm showing right now is that this battery, under slow charge, you can see where it's got the green and all that. What it means is it's under full charge right now. That turns it off. That shows that I've got 13.3 volts in. That turns it off. 13.3 volts in the battery right now. Now, volts and amps are two different things. What I mean by that is I can have a little 12-volt battery that you can use in a kid's toy. Well, yes, it has 12 volts, just like this battery, but it doesn't have the juice to crank over a motor like this. Same thing where a little battery like this is 12 volt like a car, but it does not have the juice to turn over the engine. That's where your battery is reserved for power. So I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to put everything back together and see if it works. I will also do a check on the charging system and on the regulator as best I can. But like I said, Steve, electrics are not my strong suit, and if there's too many problems involved in this, I will give you my best estimate on what's wrong with it. I won't charge you anything, and we'll take it from there. But these two little bikes, say like this Honda RUCKUS right here, I think it's 2005. He's got 25,000 miles on it. I mean, he hasn't had any problems really. Not any problems that you see with other foreign bikes. That's why you pay $3,000 for this one, or $3,000 for the Zuma. It's because of all the R&D and development and everything that Honda and Yamaha have put into these bikes, so where they can run and run and run in Antarctica, or the deserts of Egypt, or up in the mountains of Peru, or so we've got a good charge on that. Now what I'm going to do is unplug this and let it sit for half an hour. And then I'll put the battery back in and see if it works. With that bad connection, we could have a problem where the battery is not getting fully recharged, hopefully, or we could have a bad charging system, and I will cancel out everything as we go along. All right, I'm going to post this. It's really fun working on these bikes. All right.